I love to ski.
And I love to party.
And you can't ski and party.
If you don't ski and party.
So hey, welcome back everybody. Last great hurrah this year. It's kind of pointless to really talk about skiing in the next couple of months and kind of let everybody have a chance to recharge anyway. I'm ready for it. I don't know how you guys are, but winter parks closed. I think pretty much everything's closing except for Loveland. I don't know about Loveland. Is Dave on the phone by any chance? On the call tonight? No, I don't see
I
him.
don't.
Loveland's talking about
Oh, there's Mike. They're talking about when?
the 26th next
Oh, so
weekend.
next weekend. How's the snow there? Because I know a lot of the upper runs are not running.
They closed 4, 8, and 9 weeks ago.
Right.
I have heard that chats and six, if you stay high, it's fine, but the lower end, not so much. I don't know how much snow they got out of this last storm.
Well, copper extended till May 3rd. So copper is
Yeah,
going
but
to be open till the 3rd.
they copper is a little different situation because they're going to literally get to stay open as long as there's some semblance of snow 30 yards, that could be 30 yards long because Woodward really controls a lot of that. And I mean, granted, they're a higher elevation too, and uh, and they're also northern facing. But yeah, Woodward really kind of drives the train in terms of when they open and when they close.
I think for Loveland, they wanted to be open through the Corn Harvest Festival, which is a fairly big money maker, and they're
It is.
trying to hang on and get through that.
What is the Corn Harvest Festival?
It's a big skiing thing that helps pull in money for avalanche rescue and
Oh, okay.
um, various things for outdoor safety and stuff. So it's a fairly high tele contingent at it, as well
Uh,
as alpine contingent.
Speaking of Telly, did you go to Tellyfest at A Basin this weekend?
No, because I can't ski yet. I've got another
Oh,
week
that's
before
right.
the
Yeah, yeah.
doctors release me.
I know that Donnie was going to that.
I heard Donnie was. I know several people that were there. I know Mike Stanley was there. He's on the national team. I
Okay.
had heard that Jim Shaw may be there, but
I'm
beyond
not
that, I
sure.
haven't actually talked to anybody that physically made it. I got asked to teach there, but when the doctors kicked me off the ski slope, that pretty well took care of that.
They didn't want you on the ski slope anymore, huh?
Well, it got to the point they just flat out said, well, you could ski and you're just going to make everything worse.
Okay. Well, it's a pretty demanding. That's pretty demanding. I mean, that's one of the things I got from Telly this year. No, my first year of Telly was this year, and that's actually one of the things I kind of you know, kind of fondly look back on. That was a good experience for me to kind of get something new underneath my belt, even though I'm not very good.
It
Um,
teaches you a lot about how you carry your weight and how you use your body to ski.
yeah,
It's an incredible training tool to get better on your alpine skis and vice versa.
it is. It makes you really, really aware of how you transfer weight from one ski to the other, as well as how your balance and counter works.
Yes,
Because
and
counter is really, really important in tele skiing, especially in
it,
terms of how your weight is distributed.
I totally agree. It also makes you hyper aware of how you use your ankles to
Yeah.
maintain pressure on the front of the ski because you can't do it with your upper body alignment. You've got to use your ankles.
That was one of the first experiences I had was almost tossing myself onto my face the first time I ever did it. And even now, I still, you know, it's like I was telling Jim on the very first run. It was like, hey, I've spent tens of thousands of dollars to learn to ski a certain way. And now you're asking me to forget all that. And the movement forward is kind of fully ingrained and really does not work well in telly.
Um, it does and it doesn't.
It does to a point, but I mean not like I was doing an Alpine, you know what I mean?
No, no, you can't drive the tips of the skis the same way. You can drive them.
No, no, and I
It,
found out that I drive very, very firmly and very quickly.
yep. And if you read the literature in your Alpine technical manual, it really emphasizes how we move along the length of the skis by what we do with our ankles. And yet, I submit most alpine skiers are not as aware of what's going on with their ankles as much as they're aware of where their upper body is in 3D space to maintain pressure on the front of their boots.
Yeah, exactly.
And Telly forces you to focus on your ankles in the front of the boots.
So anyway, but just to wrap this up, but I would encourage anybody to actually give it a try. Um, I kind of went full bore in and said, "Hey, I've got a pair of skis downstairs. All I need is put some bindings on and buy a pair of boots. Let's just go." And that's kind of how I approached it. I was like, I need something new to make me um, feel like a beginner again, to make me fully understand, what it's like to try something brand new that you really don't have any. And I thought it was going to be easy. Heck, this is going to be easy. And little did I know, it was, it was, it was not easy because a lot of the same things that you do in Alpine is not what you do in Telly. And so it was a very, 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 very kind of interesting learning experience. But now I feel more comfortable on it and I kind of like it. It's a lot of fun. It's something new and different. So,
I second
anyway,
that.
yeah. Well, we got three of us here to talk about National Academy that I know of. I know Alona went. I
No, I
know.
didn't go.
Oh, you didn't go?
Mm-mm.
Then we got two of us. I thought you went.
Nope.
Dorico went, and well, we got two of us then. Dorico and Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Rebecca, would you like to share your experience? Who did you
Sure.
work with, and how
Uh,
good was it?
so considering how little snow there was, my coach was Robin Barnes.
Oh God, really?
That was by design. It's like
Oh,
I
cool.
thought that whatever she's going to do, that's what I'm doing. So, and we had one of the largest groups, like we had 9 people in our group.
Okay.
But it was really awesome. We focused, and it's like everything built on everything else. Like I ended up for one of my electives having a private session with Carol Levine.
Oh my gosh.
So
So lucky.
yeah, so I spent like 2 hours with her coaching, and what Robin was doing and what Carol was doing sort of built on each other. And then I had one session with Mike Porter.
Nice.
That was also planned. So it was pretty awesome considering how little terrain was open. We did get snow a little bit on Tuesday, so that Wednesday there was like dust on crust.
Right.
And on Friday it snowed. So the day I left, I'm sure was wonderful because they had 8 inches of snow on Saturday.
You're
But
right. Right.
by and large, you know, it's like it's not how many trails are open, but the coaching and for our group really gelled very well together. So we had a lot of camaraderie.
Uh-huh.
And it was awesome.
Good.
I feel very invigorated.
Excited for next year, huh?
Well, I'm going to try to go to Mammoth and just kind of practice a little bit of what I learned.
Okay.
Hopefully, I'll get a chance to, put it together before I totally put my skis away.
Okay, cool. So can you be more specific about what were the things that you felt like that you got out of it?
Okay, so one of the things that Robin worked with was uh, we had an acronym, but essentially drive the shit out of the ski, especially when it got kind of slushy.
Right.
Just drive the shit out of the downhill ski. And
What was the acronym for that?
uh, it was kind of tootsie, dootsie,
Ditzy?
dootsies.
Dootsies.
Um, and that worked very well. And then with Carol, I kind of worked on look to the apex of the next turn.
Yeah, okay.
And with Mike Porter, it was point your knee to the apex of the next turn. So putting that together really was, it all integrated.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I'm very proud of myself that, people, like coaches that I'd had in the past, apparently said, wow, Rebecca's skiing really well, which I consider a really high compliment.
That's a good win, isn't
Or it just means I suck so big before that
it?
whatever minimal improvement I have is noticeable.
I think Jim Shaw and I had that conversation a couple of weeks ago where he turned to me and goes, Chuck, I was watching you do short radius turns, and you know what? You've come a long ways. And I immediately was like, what am I supposed to do with that, Jim?
Yeah, it's like, does that mean I suck so big that
Exactly. It's like, well, you're just not where you were before. And it was like, okay. So, good, good. And so what are you going to be using what is the big thing that you're going to be kind of looking to do in Mammoth?
to keep putting that together? And then we talked a lot about the regulating the magnitude.
Yeah.
So I think that given variable snow, like I'm sure that Mammoth is going to be firm in the morning and then crap by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that will be a great opportunity to sort of feel all sides of that.
Yeah. Good. Good. Cool. So
Does,
how many times have you gone? This is your second time?
to the academy? No, it's
Yeah.
about my ninth.
Your ninth time? Good.
Yeah, I've been there.
Oh, there's Jerry Ann. Jerry Ann, did you go? No, she did not go.
Not
Okay.
this year. Nope.
I'm trying to remember who else went. It's like, okay. Oh, Leonard. I don't know if
Lenny was there.
Lenny was there. He didn't show up tonight. All
He
right.
may be driving.
He might be
Uh,
still driving.
yeah, they think they want to go do the parks in Utah. So
Okay. Okay. So Noriko, can you
yeah,
speak?
Noriko was there.
I don't know whether she can speak or not.
Well, can you hear me?
Yes,
Great. So I'm in a bus tongue, so I try to speak a little softly if this is okay.
that's
Um,
fine.
so I skied with Mama. And then, but the note that I sent to you was a special session. I think it's Josh Fogg's idea, but I ski with Dusty Dyer.
Okay,
And feel free to share the note with the group.
I will.
And it's skiing with props. And they were two props that they had. One is a Thera-Band, the other one is about 2 foot thick, and they put the tennis ball on both ends. So the stick won't be too hard on your hand. And I just made the note about the Thera-Band because, at this point, we all have Thera-Band from whatever the physical therapy we had to do at
Yeah, yeah.
home. And it's a really easy prop to carry in your ski coat pocket that when you have a client whose just arms are not in the right place, this is a great exercise to, fix it.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, please get my note and
Yeah, I've got it up on screen right now. So
yeah,
you have a
and then like
pattern one and you have a pattern two.
right.
And
So
I
pattern
remember
one,
that this was like a thing that they did quite a bit this year at trainers training early in the year. They were talking about using Thera-Bands
mhm, mhm.
and how
Yeah, it
that,
definitely worked for me.
Heidi Epplinger uses them a lot.
yeah.
I've done some clinics with her where we just spend a lot of times with that.
Yeah, I think the point that it was it Kevin Jordan who kind of introduced that piece to the group. I can't
Mhm,
remember for sure. I don't know if
probably.
anybody else knows, but for some reason it feels like it was Kevin Jordan. But he brought these in as a way to help you feel stabilizing the upper body versus the lower body.
Mhm.
And you put them on your
And
between your arms, the forearms, between your wrists, and then between your elbows, and then higher up on your forearms. And how that would stabilize, help you kind of knit together the muscles in the upper body to help you stabilize and so that you could resist and feel the pressure, to feel the differences between the upper body and the lower body more. Is that correct?
it what does show our group is great. That's what I for the other groups are never doing something different
Okay.
sometimes, like with six thing. So this is not all of it. I'm just sharing what I went through.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and this what's great is the coaching, you know,
Yeah,
that
it's self-coaching.
just get my note when you have a chance, just give it a try.
Yeah. I tried this actually earlier in the year. I thought it was very effective to help me use the props up to open up arm angle to bring arms forward and up. Yes, that really works well, especially if you put it around your biceps, like right in this area and it keeps your hands, your elbows in front of you because a lot of people have a tendency to drop their elbows back, keeps them in front of you, but it also pulls your elbows in this way tighter, discourages arm flopping. I mean, I'm the king of, I got a left hand that's like, does like this, just loves to do this. And actually, when I'm alpine skiing, I'm very aware of it now, and I don't do it as much. But it was ironic that when I went to tele skiing, especially this last time around when I was tele skiing, how that came back. This kind of doggy thing that I'm doing with my puppy dog arm that I'm doing with my left arm. And this is one of the ways that kind of helps
Mhm.
feel that. But I think the shoulder girdle stability is the one thing that Kevin Jordan was really trying to pound home at the trainers training this year.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
sent you a picture of some of the things we did with Heidi in
Okay.
your email because I don't know how to put it on the chat.
No, that's fine. Oh yeah, you have like the big Thera-Bands too.
Yeah. And that
All
was very
right.
good for upper lower body separation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Which ironic, this is like a drill. This is not a drill I do, It's not a drill. It's actually an exercise I do at the gym on Mondays. Like tomorrow will be I use a Thera-Band on and I anchor it on one end and I go up, try to lean against it as far as I can and then lift up that outside foot, which would be like simulating lifting up the inside foot. And then I move it back and forth from front to back. I touch the toe and the back behind me and the heel up in front of me, just so I can get a feeling for standing on on what I would perceive as the outside leg, and then stabilizing it as I move through it. That movement. I do that religiously every week. I kind of started doing that last year. So this is very, very similar piece. I would highly recommend if you have the ability to do this or find some Therabands to try this out because it's not easy as you think it is to balance yourself against something that's really pulling you to the inside.
Okay, I just want to clarify that these bands they're using is peanut band. It's a not thinner,
Yeah, it's not the
no,
great big ones, it's the
narrower and
little ones.
thicker.
Yeah, yeah.
And their band
Ones
I'm
are,
talking about is those floppy one. And the
right,
one they use, if you know the PP grade, it's like blue. It's really softer one, but you
right.
still feel it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So I have a blue one and a green one, and they're like this thick,
right.
right? They're not very
Yep,
thick at all. And I
right.
have bigger ones too. Well, matter of fact, hold on. Give me a second.
So, Rebecca, when you were doing this exercise, was this for like lower leg angulation? Were you picturing where you were in the turn?
Yeah, no, it was to sort of create upper and lower body separation.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. So here are, let me see if I got to put myself up so I can see myself. If I can find myself. There it is. All right. So here's like a really, really, really thick. This is the long ones. And this is actually the one I use for doing that same drill that you see in Rebecca's. For those of you who can see me in the it might be better if I actually pin myself or stop the share real quick. But if I can use this and it's a really, really, really strong, but you can tell it's too long. So obviously it's not something that's going to work well here. This one's too thick. I use these on my legs, but the one that she's referring to is about half as thick as this and not near. This is really, really strong. But what you would do is you would put it here on your arms, and I'm not sure I can even do it with this one because I don't have them with me. But you put them on your arms, and the whole idea is that using that resistance to help you feel how it stabilizes your upper body. Because now that I'm pulling out on it with my elbows, it's really hard. I've now kind of innervated all those muscles in my back and I'm really, really stable now. So notice how the arms and the upper body move together now. I can't really do anything else instead of like flopping around or doing all the weird stuff that we do, all those things that are weird, our inner weirdnesses that we get when we're doing those exercises or when we're skiing, right? So the whole idea is to get that piece, that whole girdle, that whole upper body to be innervated or get those muscles to pull against each other so that you will have a nice stable upper body, a quieter upper body so you can allow the skis to move underneath you. But that's that drill that Rebecca's referring to. This one here where they're pulling against you, this actually helps you build like lateral separation too.
I'll
So
throw this comment out for
yeah.
everybody too. Therabands are great. I've done this many, many years ago, and I used old bicycle inner tubes. And if it's a loop, as a result, when you're gripping it with in your hands with your ski poles, it forces your hands wider than your elbows. If you put it around your waist, it puts your hands in an approximate position for your ready position. You have the ability to pole plant. You want to make sure that you maintain tension in the inner tube all the time. And you use the valve stem in the middle between your hands, and that's what you aim to the downhill tip of the downhill ski. But an bicycle inner tube works well for this too.
Anybody got any questions on any of this stuff? This is a lot of deep stuff, by the way. I'm trying to look for some other stuff here that I had. Also, no, that's bicycle riding. I must have already dropped those videos. I had some videos that I did earlier this year. So one of the things I also did with Thera-Bands, which was I put them around, and I have like a Instagram post if you want to look that up. But there was I put Thera-Band around my ankles too, and then skied in some deeper snow. And the whole idea there was to help me gain the feeling of tipping the inside leg more without actually like moving the foot away. Wasn't allowed to move the feet apart. I actually had to tip this way to get the skier on edge. And it was just an interesting feeling I had that I thought was really, really interesting too. So, I mean, I like them. I didn't get much of a chance to use the Therabands as I thought I was going to earlier this year. I thought I was going to use them a lot more for training purposes or working with other instructors, but they ended up kind of like hibernating in the pockets of my jacket most of the year. So because it was such a weird year, and then most of the training I did a couple of level 1 trainings, but most of the training I did was CS children's specialist stuff, CS1 and CS2 on snow stuff. So didn't get much of a chance to pull that prop out of my bag and said, hey, let's go give this a try, right? So cool. Any other last comments on National Academy?
Uh, I think next year it might be back at Copper. They didn't say, but I suspect that that may be in the planning.
I think that would be great if they did. That would be very,
Yeah,
very good for me.
well, I think Copper is to me an underrated mountain. Like I find that it's got really better terrain than like the Vail resorts, and yet it's not as quote popular. I think.
I think those of us that are in the Colorado area know exactly how good Copper is. It's literally, if I hadn't gone to Winter Park, I'd have gone to Copper.
Yeah, I was really sorry that the back both closed
Yeah.
uh, because
All
they
the upper
usually.
mountain was closed too, and that's unfortunate because there's some really, really great terrain up there. So, oh well.
But even without that, it was still a worthwhile experience.
Right.
So that's
All right.
my last comment.
Trying to save all this stuff. All right. Hey, Noriko, can you hear me? Are you still there? Not a big deal if you can't. Oh, there she is. Can you still hear us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, it was I attended because it's so close from home and I commuted from home taking bus.
Right.
But yeah, Copper did awesome job hosting us. So much respect on, everything they could that they did for us. If it's Copper next week, yes, please show up and let me know you guys are coming.
Good. Good. What is the one key takeaway that you had, Noriko? What is the one thing that really you feel like is going to propel you into next year?
Um, Probably I may try. See, I abandoned this L3, working towards L3 for last year or year and a half. But I may try again. I met some people that I may want to like train together. So that was my good, great takeaway.
Okay,
Yeah, you
good.
meet great people when you attend National Academy.
You do. You meet
Yeah.
people that are actually like really, really interested in improving themselves.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah. I mean, the last time I attended, which was God, I can't remember, like 3 or 4 years ago, I ended up in like the RMT group with Joe Q and Brando. And they were not E1s yet. They were just Rocky Mountain trainers, and both of them were doing children's specialist stuff. And I thought it was really, really, great to be going out with guys that are already at a level that I wanted to be at. Uh,
Hmm.
Great skiers and trainers and resort trainers and already plugged into the system, and they had great feedback for me, and they ended up being really, really good friends. And we talk all the time. So I think it's really important to get out and if you're really going to be serious about this, go to National Academy. You're going to learn a lot of cool stuff, and you're going to be taught
Hmm.
by I know that you guys kind of bounced around this year, and you got to do different groups. My
Hmm.
experience was with the same person for all 5 days, but that didn't matter because we all got a lot better, and it was
Hmm.
very, very personalized. But it was Thomas from Thomas Renault. I didn't know him from Adam, but as soon as I found out who he was, it was like, okay, I, I think I can listen to him. I think I have something that it might be important for him to. He's trying to communicate to me, so I might want to listen to what he has to say. So, Patty, you
Hmm.
have your hand up.
Oh, in 2027, will they have National Academy as well as Interski?
Yes, they should, because
Both.
Interski will be the last week or the week before last week. It's like
The 4th through the 10th, I believe.
the 4th through the 10th, yeah. And then
Yep.
um the next week will be National
National?
Academy. Mhm.
Okay.
And my plan is I am actually already signed up for Interski. So one of my goals is already going to be met, you know. Obviously I can't, but my plan is to go from Interski straight to National Academy. So, and so I get the idea that I can compare and contrast the two and figure out what's going on there. So, and my other goal is, I have very, very specific goals. I've already kind of shared them with you, right? I have my goals are right, this is a good segue. Thank you, Patty. Right into the second part of what I wanted to do was talk about our goals. But I have very, very particular goals about what I want to get accomplished next year. I gave you kind of the broad picture of them. I have very, very specific clinics I want to take. I need to make sure that I get through the clinic leads. I need to take the clinic lead exam. I need to take the MA Tech exam. And frankly, you guys are all just as important to me for my ability to do this because I have to get better. I have to be way, way better. Um, and I need you guys to help me with that, right? And pin me down when I'm not good. And then, do these clinic leads, which is going to be an important part of, again, you guys are going to get the reward of this next year, is there's going to be a whole lot of very specific outcomes that I'm going to try to garner from you, so that we can, be very specific about what we're trying to accomplish, what I'm trying to get you to accomplish, and then take that into the exams and then run my RMT. And then I still want to do the CT exam next year. I didn't get that done this year. And and I've already communicated with the folks that I knew were going to the CT, and nobody passed. So there were only 3 in the exam. So, Noriko, you had your hand up.
Yes, I just remembered it. I am trying to start a Zoom book club, Zoom ski book club
A ski book
this
club.
off season. Ski
Okay.
book, because you buy ski books, and
Uh-huh.
then I had Murmur's beer book sitting on the bookshelf for more
Uh-huh.
than a year, and then I brought it over for Murmur to sign it. And then I said, Murmur, I should really, if I start a once a month book club with good ski book, I'm sure if there are enough people who would commit to, at least make me commit to read the book.
Okay.
And I will work with my resort trainer, to see if I can use the Zoom of Break Ski School. But I'll keep this group posted if I were to do it. And Mama Blakeslee said if I do it with her book, she will show up in the Zoom discussion to answer any question people may have.
Okay.
So I will keep you guys posted. And Mama also recommended like Ron Lee Master's book.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure you have something recommend, and then just
I have a bunch.
during the off season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I think that
during
would be a great idea. I mean, I have also, the John Heaton book, the Ron the Master.
Great.
There are so many. I think that would be a lovely idea.
So yeah, let's commit us to read a book a month, and then discuss. So if I'll
I
keep
don't
you
think,
all posted, and just encourage me, kick my butt, so I will really do it.
I mean, they don't necessarily have to be about skiing, do they? Because the books that I read, I mean, this is a fabulous book about that was not written by John Wooden, but is about John Wooden's teaching philosophy. It's a really, really good book. I highly recommend it. And then Inner Skiing, I read this one last summer. I need to read it again this summer. It's really, really good.
Great.
The Language of Coaching with Winkleman is, I would highly encourage everybody to read that one. And then who was it that I sent this one to Alona. Everything instructors never told you about mogul skiing.
I read it.
You read it? How'd you like it?
I did like it, and it actually resonated because it was some of the same PSIA principles. It wasn't anything that I hadn't heard before. I was
Exactly.
I was expecting to hear gleans of amazing new information, but I didn't.
No, you didn't. It's just set up in a different way, right?
Yes.
So yeah, those are some books that we could talk about easily. What's another one? There's another one I was thinking of. I don't know if I have it here handy. A matter of fact, I need to look for it, but there's another book that I highly recommend too, and I don't know where it's at right now. But it's really, really, really good book about the philosophy of teaching too. And it's written by two ski instructors, and really breaks down to those, what the key things are that you're really kind of looking for. I think it's important to read also. So I mean, there's 4 or 5 books right there, right off the bat. So that I think are important, and I'm sure there's a million others. I mean, the book about fear
Yeah,
is
that's Murmur Blakeslee.
yeah, that's a really, really important book. There's
And
several of them.
and again, Joan Heaton's book, A Little Book About Skiing, I think
Uh-huh.
is a must for everyone.
Yeah, Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody's read it, but Inner Skiing.
Yeah, I just showed that one. That one's actually really good. It's more of the this is actually it was not originally wasn't called inner skiing, it was called something else. But it was something like inner skiing. But it's basically it's a book about psychology, about your own personal psychology. So it's a really, really good book about how to overcome your own obstacles. So, all
Okay,
right.
so the people who just spoke up, if you can find my email address in, Gumby's email list,
Uh-huh.
it should be my name, norikotani396 at gmail.com. Send me the name, and I will really yeah, again, I'll keep you guys posted. And, if you are interested in doing it, tell me that, you know, like I really want certain day, but like this day I can't do it. I'm also trying not to conflict with the summertime Zoom that they do from the Vail Ski School. And I will check with Vail education trainers to see what their plan is so that we can just have as many people in this book group and committing ourselves to reading one ski related book a month.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
thank you guys.
a lot of these books are, I mean, they're worth reading a couple of times. So maybe not the technical manual, but I mean, if you want to go to bed early. That's all right. If you really, I put Noriko's email in the chat, by the way. But if you really want to go to sleep early, read the children's teaching manual.
Just the new kids manual period will put you right to sleep.
that that one's like so disjointed and it's like weird, and you're like, where are we going with this? It's
It's
a story without a plot.
there's a lot of information in there if you can read through it, but you cannot find it. If you're trying to answer children's information, go to the old manual where you can actually find it.
Exactly. It's hilarious. I mean, how many times, Mike, did we talk about, hey, I remember reading this somewhere, but I can't find it.
Yeah.
I have no
Every
idea
time we turned
where I came
around,
up
yeah, I
with this
remember
thought.
reading that concept, and it's in some place you would never think to look for it.
Exactly. So, all right. So, goals. So I'll go ahead and get this started. I've got several goals that are in mind, and they're very, very specific. So, bear with me a minute. It only should take a couple of minutes. Um, so I have some technical goals for myself that I've already written down. I want to integrate my pole planning a lot better this next year. And specifically, I want to feel how that movement helps me move from one turn to the other and make sure that my pole plants are more on time with edge exchange, because I tend to be a little bit late, but it ends up being an afterthought. I want to make sure because I have one bad knee, I'm trying to make sure that my left and right turns have more symmetry. And the reason why I know that they're not all the time is because I notice that when as the season goes on, I start to weaken on my right leg because that's the bad knee, and I end up standing more on the inside leg, and I notice that in my videos. I want to continue to work on that lower leg tipping, upper body discipline, and I want to have a lot of video of showing that this year. So yeah, that Thera-Band actually might be something to use. I got to work on my left pole plant because I remember that's that side. This side is pretty accurate this way, but this side I end up doing the puppy dog hand. I need to get rid of that. And then I need to be in the bumps and the trees and the steeps a hell lot more this year, right? Because it almost was like the lost year this year. And I know I've talked about it a lot, but When we finally got into really technical bumps at the entrance exam, they kind of scared me a little bit. So, movement, from a movement analysis, I need to make sure that I am more accurate on my biomechanics. I want to integrate those into each piece. I know that you guys are starving for that. I want to be more like Dion. I always admire her ability to really kind of be precise on what that is. Sometimes she gets a little convoluted, which is fine, and we all do that, right? But um, I want to make sure that there's a direct connect between the movement and a biomechanic that's happening. Um, Observe more of the upper half versus the lower half of the turn, and definitely look at the symmetry too. I'm pretty good on the symmetry, but sometimes I'm not as accurate talking about the upper half of the turn as opposed to the lower half of the turn, because frankly, all the things that are supposed to be happening in the upper half of the turn show up in the lower half of the turn. And I think we all know that, right? Inside out and inside out versus ski driven center of mass movement. I need to describe that a little bit more accurately. And what I mean by is the skier pushing the center of mass to the inside, or is the ski moving us to the inside? Um, and then I want to get all that done in less than 60 seconds. I want to make that a personal goal for myself this year. From a teaching and people skills standpoint, I need to know more about the perceptual motor system. I need to integrate that into my speak. I need to know more about emotional intelligence. These are two new pieces that have been thrown into the children's specialist realm, and I need to be a lot more accurate on those. Those are holes that I have in my resume, in my children's specialist resume, and I need to plug those holes before next year. Finish and refine the workbook for next year. This is the CT workbook. That's more of a personal goal. Regression building, all a systematic library of site-specific regression or progressions. Um, or progressions. I mean, be specific about how the progression is going to work. And this goes back to the biomechanics parts of if we're going to use this progression, what am I targeting specifically in the movement and in the biomechanical realm, and why is that important?
Well, Gumby, do you have the book that Stacy Garish put out for Vale Beaver Creek? Because that has a lot of what you're talking about for children, particularly.
Yeah, you're talking about the small book, the
Yeah,
old children's.
the little small one.
Yeah, the little small one. Yes, I do have that one.
It's on a spiral.
Yeah, yeah, this one right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that one. And it's dog-eared and beat up, and it's been wet, and it's been everything, because when you fall you get wet sometimes in the inside of your coat, so it looks like hell. But I know I have a couple of copies, because they gave out the first year I was at Winter Park, they actually gave out copies of this. I like this one. This is good, right? I like the new one better because the new one's more actionable, but there's a lot of this kind of stuff in there. So yes, I have that one. Thank you for reminding me. But I like the children's, this is the Alpine Children's Field Guide. This is the one I highly recommend if you're interested in really teaching kids. You got to have this book. It's really, really important.
Wait,
It's
that
not
the
as
new one?
dog-eared. It has gotten wet because it lives inside my jacket also. And I will pull it out almost every morning and go through and say, hey, I'm teaching some level 5 kids. What are some games that I can do? Garlands and Tony knows, and there's all these little things, 1,000 steps and skate steps and things like that. And it tells you specifically what the fundamental they're working on, what it looks like, how you say it, and if there's any kind of like actionable tips that you can give. That's a really, really good book. So anyway, and then the last little deal is about fitness. And fitness, I need to be much fitter next year, and I need to make sure that I'm fit all the way through the year. I am generally extremely fit by November, December. But this last year, it's been very, very difficult to kind of continue that throughout the year. So I need to figure out ways that I can get continue to push my fitness through into the March, April area instead of like, skiing is a very, very active, very physically demanding sport. And being fit before you get in is really important. But having that, just thinking that skiing is going to be enough is just not enough. And I notice that I lose that. At least I lose my ability to have anaerobic, stamina. And then the last one is learning plasticity. It's being open to learning new stuff. I'm a man of a certain age. I get grumpy now. I'm the grumpy old man, and I need to be able to have that ability to set my ego aside and say, I need to receive new and more information, especially if I want to pass the children's specialist exam, the children's trainer exam, because that's such a rigorous, and it's not just the stuff that's in the books. You have to dig deeper and you have to know more about Kohlberg's and Piaget's and Maslow's, and you have to know how to apply the deeper meanings of all of these models, just not what's written in the manuals. So those are all things that I have to work on. So what I'm interested in, and that's a pretty extensive list, right? These are all things that I've written down in my little book of secrets right here, right? I've read it off of a list that I have in Word, but I'm interested to know what you guys are, you know, working on for next year. And if it's just one thing that you want to get better at, what would it be? And we'll just do this popcorn style.
Okay, so I wrote goals and a plan for myself. One of the technical goals that I have is I want to ski proficiently on one leg so that I can do one-legged railroad tracks.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, do that. I think it's really, I would highly, highly, highly encourage you to take a ski off, leave it at the top, and ski an entire run with only one ski.
I'm not doing that, but
If the area allows it. Some areas don't allow that anymore.
Yeah, if you're in
so,
Vail, you can't really do that, but if
no,
you're
I'm
in
not
Winter
doing
Park,
that.
you can. Matter of
But
fact, all of the they it doesn't. I didn't say which run you could do it on, right? You know where all the kids do it? They did it either on Disco, which is our very, very beginner area, or they go up to Kendrick and they do it on Kendrick. And Kendrick is our next step after beginner area. So
And wait till you do that on your teleskis, Chuck.
no.
It's fun on the one ski on the tellies.
I'm not feeling that yet. Maybe we'll see.
so
I'm I'm
beginning
I'm
to
open to anything.
do the preparation dry land during the summer. So
Hmm.
what I've been doing is I've been spending time balancing on one leg, doing a variety of things. And then I also put my ski boots on and I've got my poles. Um, and I'm tipping from little toe to big toe in the ski boots. I don't know if that will help me, but that's what I'm doing so that I don't lose time during the off season.
Do you
Yeah.
have that it's a ski thing that you could actually feel like you're on skis? It comes in a little box. Let me see if I can dig it up.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking, what's it called? The
It's called,
ski alpine train alpine. What the hell is that thing called? It's the one where you kind of bounce back and forth like this.
yeah, I got it here. Let me see if I can
Yeah, it's been around a long time.
uh oh crap.
I know this is not going to be easy for a lot of folks. Rollerblading.
Oh, I'm doing that too.
Can you see that?
Hmm.
Yeah, what's it say?
It's
Oh,
like
that thing.
here.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, so you can feel your balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So you could actually put your boots on and sort of
Okay.
feel
yeah.
like you're skiing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else?
So, I I'm working, or I really want to get my CS2 kind of early in the school year, in the ski
in the
season.
season.
And so I'm trying to do all the reading and thinking through, like, I've looked at all the cards and just sort of starting to think through how that's going to work. Um, but I just have a question for you. I just bought, and I think it's going to be here in like 2 days, the book that says Teaching Children Snow Sports, that's kind of looks more like this. And
Right.
then you just held up the Alpine Field Guide.
Yeah, the
Should
Alpine
I
Field
order
Guide, you
I
need
guess I
both.
should buy the Alpine Field Guide too.
Yeah, this is the teaching snow sports to children.
The
Yep.
one that you can't find anything in.
Oh,
Well, this
great.
is
I
the
just
one.
bought that. I'm glad I just bought it for $35 then.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful. It's full of all kinds of stuff that you'll never be able to find again.
Yep,
Which
so
is
if
Okay.
you still got
literally
the
why I
old
have
one,
all
that'll be
these
the
little
one you'll
tabs
use
on.
mostly.
Well, so the one I have is the little one. I don't know if yeah, you can see me. So it's little, it's got the spiral on top, and I've used that so much the front cover's fallen off.
Yeah, this
But
one is the Alpine.
I
This
don't
is
have that one. Should I buy that one, Chuck?
I would highly encourage you
Well,
to get this
maybe I
one.
should have asked you before I did my big $125 purchase from PSIA Education, but I'll just order that bad boy too now.
No, this is like a must have. And
Okay.
it's great because you can stick it in your book, you can stick it in your coat. And if you're like, man, I'm sick and tired of doing 1,000 steps with these kids, what are some other things I can do?
Right.
Right. And oh God, I didn't even think about this. I could go do skates. Let's go do some
Right.
skating.
Yeah.
Well, the other one, I mean, the other children's book that's little, that's shaped like that one,
Right.
you told me to read that before the CS1, and I figured it's like the exam.
Yes, it
It's
is.
everything.
It has everything. Now, this has got way more drills and skills and stuff like that. It
Yeah.
operates a little bit differently, but if you work with them, if you work with this one and this one together,
Mm-hmm.
because this one's more descriptive, right?
Okay.
It really takes a drill and describes it completely. Here is an objective that we're going for, and then here are some drills that we can do to get us to that
Right.
objective.
Right. Yeah, no, but I like that. Yeah, I like that one. I also like the adult one that's like that for children. That helps me. I look at that almost every time if I know I'm going to have a different level of adults.
Yeah, yeah, it's a really good one. I don't teach as
Okay.
many adults, but I haven't cracked that one open in a couple of years.
Yeah.
But these basically live with me.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then I
this
don't know if
one,
this is a good idea or not, but I'm also going to try for my FS1 next year.
I think it would be. I would encourage
Go
you.
for it.
Yeah, I'm going to try. Anyway, so those are my goals, and I'm only going to meet them if I stay in really good shape, if I get myself in really good shape this summer, and so I'm trying hard.
You're going to do it anyway.
Trying
By the
hard.
way, one of the things that Mike Porter stressed is that we should be focused more on tasks rather than drills. Like one of the things, and actually Robin also brought that up, that drills, you work on something specific and then you get the drill, but then you go and forget about the drill. Whereas what he called exercises or tasks that have a specific goal in mind
Right,
really are going to reinforce whatever it is that we're trying to improve.
right,
And that it kind of really opened my mind to stop focusing on, okay, let's do the 1,000 steps and let's do this drill and that drill, and really think more about, okay, what do we want to accomplish and what is the best way of leading our clients to that point.
yeah,
I'm
I agree.
confused with that concept in the sense that I think most of us were trying to get a client from point A to point B. And I may use drills to get there, drills because they're predefined, and I may create something to get there. So I'm not sure I understand the difference between a task and a drill as you've just defined it.
A
So
drill,
I could answer that question if you don't you want you why don't you go ahead, Rebecca?
no, you
I,
go ahead.
okay, so a task is like what's defined to me. This is my personal opinion. Personal opinion according to Chuck. A task is something that we would find from the IDP, which is movement based, right? And we are going to be doing outside skis, right? We're going to stand on our outside ski and we're going to try to turn. And we're looking for a specific kind of movement to happen.
Okay, so an outside
A
ski turn
drill, a drill is kind of like a task, but it's more of a coaching focus. So, for instance, in an outside ski drill, in order for me to begin to tip the ski, I need to be able to move my leg I need to move it forward and I need to move it to the inside, right? The lower leg. That's going to help me get on edge. And then I can start using the ski to help me move around. But a drill for me was, let's imagine if we were going to and moving the shin from the 10 to the 2 position or from the 2 to the 10 position in terms of a clock. And what I'm looking for is pressure to this side of the ski boot and then this side of the ski boot. That to me is a drill.
I just see that as breaking a task down into a biomechanical movement. I don't see a
Yeah.
difference yet.
This is, and I'm kind of with Rebecca in this regard. And this is something I've discovered the last few years too. Drills don't work for everybody. I might describe a drill to you and be very, very precise, and the dude might look at me and go, dude, I don't get that. That's not what I'm noticing. And I'm saying, what do I do then?
Right. So, for example, a drill might be doing a stork turn, or so we get good at doing a stork turn, but then taking that into our skiing, it doesn't necessarily mean that our clients are going to really improve exponentially because they've mastered the drill if they haven't
Right.
really understood it. So I think that that's the difference between a drill and kind of saying, okay, what is it that you want to accomplish with the stork turn?
Right.
So let's focus. What is it that we need to do with our bodies and our skis in order to get to that point?
Yeah. And
So mostly what I'm hearing is you're defining the difference between them is if I have a very specific goal, I'm going to use movement patterns to get me to that goal versus let's just go out and do a bunch of movement patterns and hope we can get towards the goal.
Correct.
Yes.
That's kind of what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I don't want to say this negatively, Mike, but it sounds like you're kind of pigeonholing it a little bit. I think the purpose of a task is to be able to modify it to the needs of the user, where a drill is a very, very specific kind of thing.
It's a very specific, a drill can be a very specific movement pattern.
Yes.
But unless you have a goal for that movement pattern, it's really worthless.
Yeah.
But it's the same, what I'm understanding is, as I understand it right now, what I'm hearing is it's a task if I have a very specific goal, and then whatever movement patterns I need to get to that goal become tasks because there's a very focused goal we're going for. If we're just going out, going through movement patterns, that becomes more of a drill and doesn't really have a goal in mind.
I mean, I'm not
Maybe, well, I
saying
just want to balance a little bit more on the outside ski, but that doesn't necessarily take it into skiing. It's just an isolated entity that says I can do outside ski turns to learn to balance on the outside ski, but I don't have a goal for that, so it's not really a task, it's more of a drill.
you got it. And I think that what Mike was saying, and that I'm repeating, not that there is no place for drills, but that we really need to be more mindful about drills and maybe integrated more into what are we trying to do with drills? Because some
Yeah.
of us just do the drills. Okay, let's try this, and really it doesn't integrate into better skiing necessarily.
Yeah, because you may not
Well,
have
it doesn't integrate into what your current goal is.
right.
It probably integrates into skiing in the long run, but not in the short term.
Yeah. I think I think if we look at tasks as opportunities to design it into a drill, I think they would be better off thinking of it that way. Does that make sense? I think the
Yeah,
tasks,
I guess I would simplify it and just encourage everyone to say, you have a specific goal. Make sure you have a goal in mind before you assign a movement pattern to get there,
yeah,
or a suite of movement patterns to get there, so that
yeah,
it resides in the quote unquote task realm.
yeah. I think and from this is from my experience working with other instructors. I think, a lot of level one instructors are looking for like that magic pill, and the drill is how I'm going to get there without fully understanding how the drill works.
But
And
level one, that would make sense
yeah,
because they're in a copy paste mode.
yeah, basically, yeah, you're in that
Most of
copy
them
paste.
don't understand why it works. They just know that they have a successful
So
lesson.
we're going to go try the drill. And the point of having these IDPs or these tasks is that it gives us an open book to be able to use, uh, a specific task to help us move in a specific way, or
Yeah.
modifying it so that because remember, we have the three elements we're trying to do. We're trying to get movement, understanding, and motivation. We want them to get better because they want to get better. We want to have them move in a different way, but we also have to have them understand why they're doing what they're trying to do. If one of those three elements is no longer available to us, it's kind of like a lost cause. So that's when it becomes a drill. Hey, let's go do some, let's just ski on one ski.
Yep. It will eventually help you, but not for anything in the short term.
Exactly. Hey, let's make you look bad for a few minutes.
I can do that fine on my own.
All right. Anybody else got any personal goals they want to share?
Yeah, I do, Chuck. So
Yeah, go ahead, Ralph.
actually, Mike was reading my mind because previously, when I thought about this early in the week about what I would be talking about tonight, is one of the things is, I know I have to teach this, but or I know I need to teach a skier to work on parallel, whatever the technique is they need, but the getting the why instead of that cut and paste like Mike just talked about, that's what I really want to get a better understanding of. I guess you could also call it biomechanics to some degree.
Yeah,
So that's definitely one area I want to work on is understanding, not just get to an end goal, but okay, why does this work?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
And I think that's really, really important. Get out of that copy paste, get
yeah,
into more of the choose part of it. I want to choose these drills and for particular reasons why, before we can get really, really creative and really start to modify those drills down to specific needs, right, for each individual person. Because, I think one of the magic things I did this year in my teaching was, well, actually started last year quite a bit, but is modifying the same task to get different sensations for different people, right? So, hey, I noticed that I'm having you do this drill and I'm looking at you because I want you to do this. And this is a sensation I'm hoping that you'll feel. Oh, by the way, this is not for you. I want you to do the same task, but this is the focus I want you to have to get this different feeling. So I'm modifying the task to get different need movements and different understandings. So, and I think that's really, really powerful because people love it when they go, "Hey, Dave, I'm really working on this with you, and I want you to do this way, but I want you to, not necessarily ignore what I'm telling Sarah over here, but I want to make sure that you understand what I'm trying to get from you." And it's like, oh yeah, yeah, they really love that. They just love that.
At the Women's Summit, I had Melody, who's an adaptive
Yeah,
on the national team, and she gave different tasks to every single one of us.
yeah,
And I was like so awed that she could say, okay, you do this, you do that. And I really took that to heart for like the next lessons, that we don't need to all be doing the same thing the same way, that we could individualize a lot more.
Yeah, it takes a lot of practice though, and it's a lot of cognitive awareness on your side to keep from getting overloaded.
Well, that's where this group of movement analysis really comes in handy, because we've learned to analyze movement patterns, and
Yep,
I'm very grateful for that. And then be able to say, okay, this person needs this and this person needs that.
yep, perfect. All right, anybody else?
Yeah,
Jerry,
Chuck.
we haven't heard from you yet. Oh, go ahead, Todd.
Uh, I I ended up helping two of our instructors this year as they were going towards their level 3,
Uh-huh.
and some of their tests that they were doing, I realized that when I take 1 foot off the ground, I have no balance. So I need to see about working on my balance of doing a javelin or other things in that area.
Yeah, yeah, and it's gonna turn. You're gonna. There's a certain physical fitness that you're gonna have to have in order to do that too.
Yeah, I'm doing a deal right now to get some credits for continuing
Yeah,
CEs
CEs.
right now.
Right. Yeah,
So
good. Yeah, so that's a personal goal. That's like a, well, that's both a physical and a technical goal, right? Because in order to be
yeah.
able to do the task, I need to be able to be fitter and stronger. So yeah, cool. Anybody else? Jerry Ann, we haven't heard from you yet.
Because I'm reading.
I know you've got a laundry list of stuff.
I do. I just didn't organize it. But a lot of what you guys have been saying, I mean, the MA thing, the biomechanics piece, and for me, turn shape. Where in the what am I seeing, and where in the turn shape, and really separating that out to be able to articulate it. I want to get succinct. You said 60 seconds. I'm like, yeah, that's ideal.
60 seconds, yeah.
I purchased rollerblades this year.
Uh-oh.
So we're going to try to
Yeah,
use rollerblades to improve the balance, and it's a good cross training for the legs. In
yeah,
my
make sure you
work
fall
with,
forward, don't fall backwards.
okay, awesome. Working with my fitness trainer, I want to get to one-legged squats. I don't know if I'll ever get there, but I think
I
if I
can't
could
do
do a
those.
one-legged squat, it would help me, because there's balance involved in there and there's leg strength. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I was working with my mentor this year, and he said he's convinced that one-legged squats are the secret to dynamic skiing.
it
So we'll
is.
see.
It really, really is helpful. I do a lot of deficit squats or one-legged deficits, five
I don't know.
seconds down, and before I touch the
Oh,
floor, and then explode back up again. That way I
okay.
don't have to try to balance because, A, my right knee won't allow me to do that. I have a limited range of motion there, so pistol squats on that side are completely out of the question. So I have to grant myself that. But
And
yeah,
again, that's an ideal. Like, I don't know if we'll ever get there, but heck, I could
hey
try.
man,
It's not going to hurt me to try towards it, right?
no,
And then
no,
my big goal is, and this is one of those, what do they call it? A BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal. I really want to register for the level 3 prep at Eastern Academy in December. And for me to be ready and confident and feel like I belong in that group, I got some work to do this summer.
cool.
You
That's a good
know,
that I like
do
that as a
the
long-term goal. That gives
skate
you 8 months.
do the skate to ski that Eastern does, where you go rollerblading in the morning and then go indoor skiing in the afternoon.
Okay, if they do it on a date, I can do. I can't do the weekends. That's my problem.
I think they usually, I don't remember,
Yeah.
but look for that.
Okay, thank you.
Good goals. I like those goals. Who have I met? Who has anybody not spoken yet? Ralph, Todd, Mike. We
I
haven't heard from
haven't.
you.
Yeah, but unfortunately, mine's not brief like everybody else's. Mine's more like yours.
Mine's not brief either. I'm very specific on my goals.
Because I've already started rewriting the CRMT workbook.
Uh-huh.
That's one of my goals. I want to do the entrance RMT entrance exam again and actually pass it again, so
Uh-huh.
that I can do new exams. Specifically on my skiing, I will be working on being taller and maintaining pressure on the front of my boots strictly with the ankles and see if I can increase my range of motion when I alpine ski.
Cool.
And then focus within that on, or a sub focus within that is maintaining counter from turn to turn through transition. And
Good.
then my MA, I'm working on that. I want to be able to start doing MA where I can speak it at a level 1, then a level 2, then a level 3. And with you guys, I'm working really hard to simplify my verbiage. And so feel free to wail on me, beat on me if you don't understand things and force me to reword things. And Chuck's really good at that. So thank you.
I think those are all very, very good goals. I like the one with the level 1, level 2, level 3, because that's not only do I need to institute the biomechanics, but I need to do that spread also. That's a
And
actually, thank you. You've just added one to my list too.
and again, I think I know that like you, I got a lot of knowledge. It is hard for me, and I'm still working on this, to prioritize that knowledge, but the prioritization is difficult because how the fundamentals and how we learn to ski, it's not necessary. You can pretty much take any fundamental or any task and use it for a multiple goals. So the only thing I've ever come up with for setting any type of a priority is a biomechanical priority that says our bodies function if we're balanced. And if we're not balanced, it doesn't really make any difference what we do. So in my mind, I lean towards what do I need to do to get this individual over their feet or their feet under their body as the primary, everything else becomes secondary. And you can address it from multiple directions, which makes it really hard when you're dealing with the priority because we can address it from rotary, from foot to foot, or whatever.
Yeah. Good. Good. All right. Well, that's you guys' task. It's all 8:25 my time, which means we only got a couple of minutes left. And I would
Roman's
encourage
going to put
you.
it all to music.
I would,
Yeah. Well, my music will be when I get to level 2, which I'm halfway through. So
no,
I
you're
did
not.
ski. I did skiing, and the teaching. I attempted teaching, and I knew that I was aware that I most likely I would not pass. But so I just wanted to see where I was, and got a very valuable feedback, which I'm gonna work on, and
Good.
hopefully through summer we'll be able to get close.
Good. 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 So, did you pass the MA? Did you pass any section of the
The
level 2?
it was the teaching was it was a 2 days. Well, it's still 2 day. It was still 2 days event. So I did separate ski exam, and then and another
And then
time
the
I did
teach, yeah,
teach.
the MA and the teach were together.
Yeah, so that maybe less next year will be separate events. So
Next year they will be. So I know that some parts of the East were like that still, some parts were not. They were supposed to be all doing 3 days, but I know not all of them did. So But
Yeah,
next
we'll
year
see
they
how that
will meet
will.
all 3 days.
I'll see how that will be. What they're gonna do with the Eastern Academy in
Yeah.
December, and maybe I'll just. Well,
Hey, you got 7 months to prepare.
yeah, I'll be. Yeah, I I don't know if I know exactly what I need to do, but I have a good idea what I need to do. I know I know where I messed up, and so I'm pretty
Good,
much aware of what I did, what I
good,
wasn't doing right.
good. All right, good. So, well, hey, I'm going to encourage you all to try to add to your goal list or break it down to kind of loftier goals down to like little sections, so that we can kind of stair step our way up instead of like, the worst thing I feel like we have this great big balloon and it's easy to pop, but it's always just a little bit out of reach. But if we can get those step ladders to help us reach up there, and get those small goals going, and that allows us to step up higher so we can reach that bigger goal. I think that's really, really important. And hey, if I could wave a magic wand and say you are an E3 examiner now, that'd be easy, but it's not how that stuff works. I actually have to do the work for it. So, and that's the whole importance of like I said, I don't even know how many goals I should. I think there's like 17 or 18 goals that I have. And
Some of those are actually related.
yeah, they
But,
are.
I think, Chuck, you and I, we do it instinctively, but I would encourage the group to take your words to heart and take those goals and break them down into smaller sub goals.
Yep. Yep.
And it'll do two things. It makes the chunks manageable, but more important is it helps you identify and define what's all included in that goal.
Yep.
And most people, they throw a goal out there, but don't know everything that's involved with getting there.
And frankly, write it down. I mean, I hate to say this because I've resisted this for a long time. My goals are my goals, right? But if you actually write them down, you almost take ownership, and you almost have to you have a responsibility to start working towards them. So um, it is important to kind of write them down, even though, like I said, I fought that for a long time. I don't have to write them down. What are you talking about?
If you really want to challenge yourself and really start the processing of that early, if you're right-handed, write them down legibly with your left hand.
I
Because
don't think
that's
you have to
really
quite
going
take
to
it that
force
far.
you to think about the individual words, and it's going to break it down character by character.
Or it may make you just quit right off the bat, one of the two. And do it on a unicycle.
Well, this way you get both of your hemispheres working on the goal at the same time.
All right. Thank you very much for everybody for coming. I look forward to this summer. Stay tuned. We will be Mike and I are going to talk about um, what we talked about last week, which was that kind of fundamentals. Not fundamentals. What is it, Mike? Why am I
No, it
saying
was technical
the technical
foundations and
foundations?
bringing in
Exactly.
biomechanics and fundamentals.
Yeah. So breaking that out into pieces that are going to be both digestible and easily done, instead of, because it's 2 days of information, and nobody wants to listen to 2 days of information, especially if we cram it down to a couple hours. So that's going to be one thing. And of course, like that list of stuff. And the list that I have is is a is not necessarily a um, complete list at all. Not at all. If there's something that you feel like strongly about, or that you would like to talk about, let's put it in as a topic. I think it would be kind of interesting. I'm always open to new ideas and new pieces again, and I don't want to be the sage on the stage. You know what I mean? I want to include as much information as humanly possible from other folks. Like we did last year, where Thomas and Alona and several others did like presentations of where we kind of broke down by joints. last year I thought was really, really interesting and good. And I'd like to kind of harness that again for next year. If there's a topic that you feel strongly about, or you feel like you would get a lot out of it if you would just, talk about it for an hour in front of some folks. The fastest way that we learn is when we have to teach it. Right? It's like I said, I'm not always, this is not purely agnostic to me. I mean, I get a lot out of this is really, really important for me too, and my own continuing education to continue to do these webinars every year. That I don't do these for free because I enjoy doing them. I do them because I get a lot out of them too, and it forces me to be responsible in my own learning. So, all right, thank you. Any last questions? Let's get out of here before the curtain drops on our heads.
Thanks.
Yep.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, you guys have
Really
a great,
appreciate
All
it.
right.
great 45-ish days. And we'll see you probably,
June.
yeah, it's going to be
Okay.
around the 1st of June, the first weekend, maybe the second weekend of June. I can't be the second weekend because that's Father's Day weekend.
Well, have a great summer,
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
don't melt.
Hmm.
So, all right, have a great summer and
Take
thank you
care.
very
Bye-bye.
much.
Good
Thanks
night.
all. Thanks for letting me join.